Have you ever found yourself in over your head? You set out for success, and then, boom, things go sideways, and you think to yourself, I didn't sign up for this. Maybe even WTF. In an ideal situation, you heroically press on. Indomitable and undaunted, you valiantly carry on with unwavering determination and focus, right? No matter how noble your quest, at some point it hits you. And then the stress exhausts your inspiration and diminishes your good intentions until the burnout sends you looking for relief or revenge. Wisdom has it that in order to come into true power, we need to respect and embrace both sides of ourselves equally from within the challenge. And if you can do this, you begin to master yourself and you become a better fit for the quest that you face. You gain the power to focus your time and energy on the things that lead you to success without wasting your efforts trying to not be something you are or to become something you're not. The purpose of my talk is to share with you a new possibility in how human nature functions. A unifying theory that explains how we can go from divinely inspired catalyst of love and evolution to vicious slug, and vice versa. It is only by applying the knowledge under pressure do we come into true possession of its power. And so the crisis that we face becomes an opportunity for us to evolve into the person that we aspire to be and to become a better fit for what our dream needs us to be. When my son was 7 years old, we got caught in a riptide and a thunderstorm off the coast of Ocracoke Island in an area known as the Graveyard of the Atlantic. When we started out, we were having fun surfing in the small, soft waves in the shallows. But I got lost in the thoughts about how quickly he was growing up, and I wanted to go out for one more wave. And in the time that we went out, the conditions changed dramatically. When I turned around to go back in, the island was a sliver on the horizon. I hung off the board to see how deep it was, and there was no bottom. It was just dark, open ocean, and I was alone with my son in a riptide and a thunderstorm. There would be no rescue. And as I resurfaced, the fear stabbed into my mind. I started to freeze and panic. And as I was drowning in my fear, my son got washed off the board and disappeared beneath the waves, and I had to punch off the board and kick and grab him and pull him back. And as I held him there and I reset and I centered, I realized that my resistance to the situation was dangerous and life-threatening. That the man I was going into the event would not be the one that would lead us out. I had to evolve in order to adapt to the conditions, or we would drown. The ocean would not adapt to me. She was not impressed by my decades of martial arts training. She would not relent because I was a dad in the ocean with a 7-year-old son. I had to swim the ocean on the ocean's terms, or we would drown. I had spent years training Tai Chi power, especially learning how to yield to overcome a greater force. But in order to survive this, I had to yield to the power of the ocean and flow with it while not surrendering to it. Our survival depended on my ability to use the event as an opportunity to use my training under intense pressure and evolve into the person that could lead us out. My knowledge and training in and of itself was not enough to get us out. I was succeeding and failing rapidly and randomly. At first, I thought it was the chaos of the conditions, but then I realized it was my reaction and my response and how I adapted to the ocean. It was there, in the middle of the ocean, when all else failed, that I came to experience the critical importance of energy health. When I focused on increasing observations, relaxing my breathing, and fluiding my movement, we were able to flow seamlessly through the ocean. And it was an adventure. And we were inspired and energized. But when I got distracted by my thoughts and feelings, I quickly got overwhelmed by the tide, and I despaired that we would drown. What I realized in the midst of that crisis, what tipped the scale for me and my son, was that I was managing our energy. Specifically, the inspiration energy and the adaptation energy. It was like finding the circuit breaker in my consciousness, an energy switch that allowed me to reset back to being highly energized and adaptable. The danger of the treacherous conditions gave me no time to focus on the usual distractions and certainties. And so I learned quickly to focus on the energy switch and keep resetting so that we could keep flowing through. The Riptide experience was a test of my energy health and my energy fitness. And when we started out, I was not energy fit for the event. But because I kept focusing on the energy switch, the reset, I used the event to train my energy health so that I was energy fit enough to get us out, which meant that I had more than enough energy to swim out of the Riptide. Energy health is a phrase to describe a concept or consciousness that's found within Chinese martial arts, medicine, and philosophy, although they don't speak about it in those terms. The masters of Chinese martial arts weren't training for spa vacation effects. They were training for health and adaptability and power, martial power. So the Tai Chi that you see that looks like this originally started out where it was something like, right? Right? Or something like this where, right? Which is a lot different than spa vacation Tai Chi. So why that's important is because when we're energy healthy, our personalities are naturally heroic. The best of human nature is present. We are generous, we're kind, we're adaptable, we're insightful, we're loving, we're resilient, we're funny. All these qualities are present when our energy level is high and dynamic. We get to be the divinely inspired catalyst of love and evolution. Conversely, when our energy is low, we're compromised and the worst of our nature is present. We are lazy, mean, avoidant, argumentative, edgy, moody, meh. We are resentful, blaming, harmful, vicious, slugs. The worst of human nature is present. And when you don't know how energy health functions, you're at the mercy of your life. Your energy health is at the mercy of your life. So, if you're having a good day and everything is going your way, then your good you is there. But if you're having a bad day and things aren't going your way, the bad you is there. And you end up wishing that things would be easier, they would be less stressful, or things would work out in your favor. You're compromised and demanding that conditions adapt to you. And that's sad because it's impossible. Managing life in this way, managing stress, is like managing the wind. It's an exercise in futility and a recipe for disaster. Because we're not taught to care about our energy health before we deal with life. When you learn to manage your energy health, when you learn to tune into the conditions that add energy, you gain a new freedom and a new confidence, because you know that if you have to deal with something like write a talk, book a flight, miss the flight, memorize the talk, and then give it on stage, you know that you just add the energy, you plug back in and focus. And every time you get distracted, you reset your focus back to the conditions that add energy, and you just keep flowing through. It starts with eyes on, increasing observations. Our powers of observations are critical for quieting our mind and adding energy through light. Next, we relax our breathing using our yi, our inspiration energy. And then we flow our movements. You do all three concurrently to add adaptation energy. So the next time you're struggling, just remember those three things: observe, inspire, and move. And one more thing. Energy health is fractal, which means that it has scalarity. Like the atom is to the solar system, is to the galaxy. So when we reset our energy health within us, we begin to restore the energy health between us, and then it goes out into the community and all the way up till the whole world is energy healthy. If the whole world reset at the same time, in the next few minutes there would be no violence, because a centered, energy fit person can do no harm, and they are naturally, heroically fit to lead.